In Chicago, you know that all sports rock. The Bears, Hawks, Bulls, Cubs and Sox. Pick your favorite, you can choose. As long as the Packers lose. For everything you need to know, it's Bill Swerski Sports Talk Chicago. Bill Swerski Sports Talk Chicago.
Hey everybody, welcome to another edition of Bill Swerski Sports Talk Chicago. This is your hosts, Alex and Sean. On this episode, we're going to be talking this week's baseball with Cubs and Sox, talking a little Blackhawks, a little Bulls, and more. But first, I'd like to thank our sponsor, the Rockford Ice Hogs. If you're not familiar with the Rockford Ice Hogs, they're the AHL minor league affiliate of the Chicago Blackhawks. What does that mean for you? You could see the stars of tomorrow today at family-friendly, affordable prices. Season is not going on right now, but it will be soon enough, so head on over to icehogs.com, get yourself a hat, shirt, jersey, tickets, and more. Tell them Swerski Sports sent you. Alex, my friend, how are you doing today?
Good, good. Had a good 4th of July weekend. Saw family, saw friends, all good.
Kept all
I
your
wish,
fingers?
no, I did not launch any rockets, but you know what was really fun was, I was with family on the 4th of July. I saw friends on Saturday and today, but I get home from a family barbecue. It's about 9:30, 10 at night, and I went for a walk around the neighborhood, and like there's this two-story building by me. It's in the business district. There's not a lot on the second floor. I mean, all the businesses were closed, but you can just kind of walk up there. And again, it's just like a two-story building. It's not a high rise, but you go up on the second floor and you look around and you see just the fireworks shows all around you, like just completely surrounded. It was one of those things where it looked like we had just won a championship or something. So that was kind of cool.
Yeah, around my house, like we have like a deck on the first floor and on the second floor. And from the second floor deck, you can see if you just do a 360 pirouette, you can see fireworks shows in every direction. And we decided to take our bikes out for a ride. And we were, it's funny, we're watching these. We're like, oh, this one might be at the park, and this one might be at this park, and this one at this. No, as we drove by, we saw them. They're all in people's alleys, launching them from outside of their garage. All of them.
Oh yeah, I mean, it was a combination of like organized fireworks shows and people launching them from their yard, the street, or whatever. But like it was all going off at the same time. It was just like it literally like sounded like artillery.
Yeah, it's wild how much money people spend to launch fireworks from their garage. Because these
Oh,
all
I
look
know.
like
Yeah.
professional shows. Like these don't look like, like bottle rockets or something. Like these look like just real fireworks. And you're like, damn, that's insane.
Oh yeah, I mean they get the color, they get the width, of the explosion. You get that sonic boom. It looks like you said, kind of a professional set with some of these. And then there was the block next to me that was, like those fireworks where you put them on the ground and it's like they shoot up just like flares, like they don't go very high, but it looks like
It was the anniversary also Friday of the year that in San Diego they accidentally set off the entire downtown fireworks show that was supposed to last like 40 minutes
oh, I
all in
remember
one
that.
all in one fell swoop.
Yeah, I remember that. I was actually talking about that with some family friends the other day, because I remember seeing the video of it, and it looked like a nuclear explosion.
Yeah, it was wild. I totally forgot about it and then I saw the video and I was like, "Oh, I forgot that happened."
Yeah, that was nuts.
But I'm glad everybody remained unscathed and all fingers are intact and we had a nice weather, so not a bad 4th of July.
Yeah, I wish it was a little cooler, but hey, it was better than rain, right?
Oh, definitely better than rain.
Yeah, I mean, I remember one year when I was a kid, it downpoured just like relentless flooding, and that's never fun. I don't think we've had one of those kinds of 4th of Julys in a while, though. Not that I can remember.
Yeah, I can't remember one either. Um, but here we are with Cubs baseball, and as we're recording this, it's the rubber match with the Cards and the Cubs, and Cubs have a little bit of a lead here, which is a good
Yeah,
thing.
yeah. This is going to be a night, though. As much as I love All-Star Andrew Boyd, this is going to be a night where you want to kind of keep adding on because they have been really pesky these last few games, the Cardinals. They have been fouling off so many pitches and giving you so many grindy at bats. It's been just kind of a battle. And I mean, you expect that obviously when you play this team, but after what you did to them on the fourth, you were feeling pretty good. And the Cardinals, I think they've wanted to get a little revenge from that 4th of July game because that was a historic butt whooping.
Yeah, what, 8 home runs?
Franchise record 8 home runs, three from Michael Bush, two from Pico Armstrong, one from Dansby Swanson, and one from Carson Kelly.
What's amazing is, did you see the career stats of uh Miles Mikolas versus PCA?
Isn't it something ridiculous? Like he's gotten a hit in like all but one of his at bats.
Yeah, he's 6 of 7 with 4 home runs.
Yeah,
Four home runs, a double, and a single.
that is pretty good. That's pretty good. I know it's not the biggest sample size, but that is pretty good. And one thing's for sure, Michaelis was not fooling anybody that day, except
No.
Kyle Tucker. He was like the one
Yes.
guy that didn't get a hit that day, strangely
Yeah,
enough.
that was why. Like, he didn't even have good at bats. He just didn't look
No,
good. Like, he
no.
had him. The one guy he had fooled is the guy that nobody else is able to fool.
Right, right. Oh, I think I also forgot. Didn't say a homer as well in that game. I think he did. He was the first homer of the game.
Yeah, because it wasn't it. Yeah, because they had like back to backs in 2 different innings.
Yeah, so you had back to back with Seiya and PCA, and then you had a back to back with Bush and PCA. And Michael Bush hit a home run that was very reminiscent. I think it was his second one. It was very, very reminiscent of the Kyle Schwarber NLDS home run on top of that scoreboard.
So that game was fun. Game 2 of that series, not so fun. the uh
Frustrating.
the birds jumped out to a lead. Cubs come back, take the lead, and you're like, all right, I'm feeling pretty good about this because the Cardinals have had real difficulty scoring runs over the last 2 weeks,
Hmm.
and then boom, they come back late in the game and take it, and which is really frustrating because you know the Cubs are playing good baseball, but man, the Brewers are just on fire, and we just need to
Yeah.
match them because I'm not saying the Twins are a cakewalk by any stretch, but it's going to be a lot easier than the Brewers got to face the Dodgers this week.
Yeah. Even though the Dodgers, boy, you want to talk about a banged up pitching staff. That pitching staff is really banged out of shape.
Uh, but you hope that they can just those bats can come alive and really pummel the Brewers. Fingers crossed, fingers crossed.
Yeah, I know. Um, Obviously, too, you look at the situation that the Cubs are in, and you got the All-Star break coming up, and I believe you're going to be on the road the rest of the way, right? You're going to have the Twins in Minnesota, and then you go to Yankee Stadium. The Yankees have been reeling, but you never take that for granted, that's for sure.
No, no, you don't.
Because
Especially
they can get hot again at any minute.
yeah, I mean they've got the arguably the best player in baseball, and that can just turn the table any at bat.
And you suffered another pitching injury this weekend.
That's the bad one, and it's not. I mean, I'm reading he might be out for a month.
That's what it sounds like. So it's a calf strain for Jameson Tyone, and I believe it happened during like his bullpen session. He was doing a warm up or a train. Like it wasn't an in-game injury. It's not like he's been sitting on this injury for a while. It was a fluke thing, but say what you will about Jameson Tyone, but you know what he gives you? Innings. And that's why you had to have a bullpen game yesterday.
Yep, a trade can't happen soon enough. There's a few more things I want to talk about, but while we're there, is we're a couple weeks away from the trade deadline. What are you thinking is a realistic trade target? And what's a realistic, because we're not going to get 2 starters and a right-handed bat from the bench and another bullpen arm. Like, we're not getting all that. What do you think is the realistic, haul that we can get, and who are the realistic targets we could be going for?
Yeah, so I mean, obviously you have to look at the market here. And one thing, let's just get this out of the way. Alcantara is making me more and more nervous. It has just not been good.
I don't I've crossed him off my wants list in any way, shape, or form. He has been bad.
Yeah, yeah. So, Cabrera's been one that people have talked about. That might be your best option. Obviously you have the Twins with Pablo Lopez, but he's been hurt, so that makes things a little complicated. The Tampa Bay Rays look like they're contending. I've talked about Drew Rasmussen, but I don't think that's going to be an option right now, which kind of sucks because I like him. Um, I think that at least for now, you might have to go out and get a guy that might not be overly exciting, but can at least give you some innings and keep you in a game. I've mentioned Charlie Morton before. I would mention him again because the overall stats don't look very good, but he got off to a horrific start. He made some adjustments. And if you actually look at his past like 10, 11, 12 appearances, overall, he's been actually very good. And I don't think the Orioles are looking like they're going to make a run, right? I know they've been
No.
playing better, but they're so far behind.
I mean,
And
they couldn't really be
Charlie,
playing worse.
right. And so, and you figure they're not going to hang on to Charlie Morton for a long time. He's 40, 41. He's on a 1 year deal. So I think that would be, it might not be the guy, but it might be a guy to go after.
Do you think it's possible that they make a move now for a guy, like
I
and then closer to the deadline, make a more substantial move?
I think they are going to try. I mean, one thing that we've heard from all of the reporters, the local beat reporters, the national guys, is that they have been very active on the market. The thing is when you're this early, it takes two to tango, right? So you need to find a team that's willing to make a deal. But I am guaranteeing you right now that Jed is on the phones constantly. And I think he's monitoring a bunch of different angles. I mean, heck, you can look at some of the pitchers that the Rockies have, and they might not look good overall, but if they can give you innings and give you a just a decent something, then maybe you go after something like that. And remember too, they pitch at Coors Field, even though Wrigley Field in the summer can kind of play like Coors Field. But I think this is where you have to be open. Now, you've heard about the Mitch Keller stuff, right?
Yeah, I have. I just don't think he's gonna go to the Cubs.
Yeah, see, here's the thing is the problem I have with Mitch Keller. He's a solid pitcher, he's under years of control, and he's a ground ball guy, which are all things that are good. The thing is that juice worth the squeeze if you're going to trade in division and they're going to ask for a massive haul? That's where I'm kind of weighing things, unless the Pirates say, you know what? We want to unload. So Mitch Keller, and we'll throw in Key Brian Hayes, and you're just going to take on a bunch of money to maybe soften the return to us so we could unload some of this salary. Maybe that makes it a bit more appetizing. Again, if the Mitch Keller trade, if he wasn't in division and you didn't foresee maybe a bigger cost, I'd be for it. I'm just not sure it's worth giving up like an Owen Casey for him.
The problem is there are several teams that are eyeing him, and
Right.
because one, he's one of the better options available right now because the Pirates are already out.
Oh, yes.
Pirates, Rockets, Rockies, White Sox. Those are the teams that are out. Um, and so you start looking through and you're like, all right, who's available? And the Pirates are ready to deal, but we're at the point now where they're in no hurry to make a deal. If you're going to trade first couple days of July and in division, you're going to be paying a premium for both of those, the double
Right.
premium.
Right.
And the closer you get to the trade deadline, uh, that's when you can start, really making deals because then the deadline is there for both sides. Right now, it's you've got to make the Pirates be willing to move when, if they wait, maybe another player steps in because they get an injury or somebody just gets really aggressive and way overpays. Like the closer you get to that deadline, that they've got a real opportunity there. And the Pirates need to get a haul there because they're never going to be big spenders in free agency. So just the nature of the beast.
Right, exactly. But you know what? When you're the Cubs right now, you got to look at every angle because guess what? You need to fill out multiple starter spots for the time being. Now, one thing that we have to remember is Cade Horton. He does not have a lot of bullets in him. Like, we know this, right? He
Hmm.
is very limited in his professional experience. He was awesome against the Guardians the other night. He rebounded from that rough outing in Houston as good as you could possibly ask for. And I have no doubt that he's going to give you some good stuff, but you're not going to be asking Cade Horton to go 7 innings every 5 days the rest of the year. We don't even know if he's going to make it to the end of the season. There is a load management issue with him, and you add that on top of Tyone's injury, the fact that you haven't had Steele all year, it's frustrating that this is happening when there's a lot of good things with this team, but you're going to kind of have to hodgepodge this staff together a bit. Because if you look right now and you look at guys you can rely on giving you innings, Matt Boyd has been your best guy so far. He's obviously been named an all-star. He's not going to give you a lot of innings tonight. His pitch count is very high, but overall, you can trust him to do that. But, Horton's limited on bullets. Colin Ray can give you five, maybe six. He was great against St. Louis the other day, but you're not going to count on him doing that every time out, right? I mean, your
You do
expectation
not
for
trust that guy if the
no,
wind is blowing out.
no, you don't. And now that Tyone's out, are you just going to do openers before you get anybody else?
What
You
scares me
recalled
about
Jordan Wicks, but he's not going to give you a ton of innings.
what scares me about the when they do bullpen games is you wear out that bullpen that's been pretty good.
Yeah, it's worked hard. I mean, look at Keller. He's finally showing some cracks. He's worked very, very hard, and you knew that he was due for a clunker, and we saw that yesterday. It's hard. Those guys only have so many bullets in them a year, and Craig Counsell knows that.
Yeah, so they've got to figure something out quick. And like I said, I'm fine if they make a move now for somebody that's just an innings eater, somebody to be a starter every 5 games for now, and then you work on like a legitimate guy that's closer to the deadline. I'm fine
Mhm.
with that. Because you need somebody to come in and take these innings away because you don't want to burn through that bullpen. You really don't. You finally got it to the point where after last season and the early part of this season where you were just like, oh geez, you've got it good. And then you're gonna screw it all up because of starting pitching injuries. That's bad. Um, so
And you just
I'm
got Shota back too.
yeah, that's we can you imagine if he was out another week? We would be in such deep shit.
Right. And the thing too is with Shota, when I was talking about going deep into games, he's had to work his way back from the injury. Like he wasn't going to come back and pitch 7 innings. Like he was going to be limited at 70 pitches. I don't think he's going to pitch more than 90, right, for a little while, depending on the circumstance.
I mean, if it's if he's cruising and they've got a lead, maybe. If it's he's really working or close game, probably not. Uh, I don't think they're gonna ask him to work hard pitches. It's a if he just goes up there just to kill an inning and he's he's playing the ground balls because um, he knows he's got a big lead. Like, okay, who cares? But if he's got to really work to get those pitches in and hit his fastball, mm, I don't know if I want him to go over 90.
It's just a tough situation. And, you don't really know what Jordan Wicks is going to give you. And listen, we're recording in the third inning right now of this game. We could maybe see Jordan Wicks coming to this game later because you're probably not going to pitch Brad Keller, right? After yesterday. Not just because he struggled yesterday, but he threw a lot of pitches yesterday. And you're obviously not going to have Chris Flexen available because he ate up a lot of the middle innings. Drew Pomeranz threw like what, 26? He didn't even get through the first inning yesterday.
No, not a good
So,
outing.
yeah, it's tough, man. It really is.
But we have three all-stars.
Could have five.
Um, yeah, say it got chooched.
Seiya and Michael Bush. Although, to be fair to Michael Bush, he's been just absolute on a tear lately. And a few weeks ago, he was good, but he wasn't outstanding. The run came kind of late, so that is a bit more understandable. But Seiya Suzuki's leading the league in RBIs.
Yeah, he got um, he got robbed, I think. Uh, he's been great. Michael Bush has been really good. Like, and he's been especially on a big tear. But it's I would say Michael Bush doesn't beat out Pete Alonso. Pete
No,
Alonso's having a really good, but I think Freddie Freeman got the vote because his name is Freddie Freeman.
right.
Um, he's a first ballot Hall of Famer. Um,
Hmm.
and you've got to really beat his butt to make that roster. Michael Bush having a better season than Freddie Freeman? Yes. Um,
But
but
the resume is the resume.
the resume is the resume. Uh, but speaking of Michael Bush, they finally gave him a start against lefties and he showed up. I think I think going forward, you're gonna have to play him every day.
He literally just got to hit it off another lefty like a minute ago.
Yeah, I think you can't be, you know, playing him to matchups. I think he's been plenty good enough to earn the benefit of the doubt to get starts.
I agree. I agree. Um, Before we get into our actual All-Stars, on that subject, I just want to say one thing is this is your perfect opportunity, I think, to move, but which they technically have. They've moved him around a little bit, but I think you move him up, and I think you got to move Dansby Swanson down.
Oh yeah, Dan.
The at-bats with the runners in scoring position are just putrid.
Here's the thing about Craig Counsell. Craig Counsell, he looks at these players not on a who's hot, who's not, what have you done for me lately? He's looking at their body of work, the baseball card back. And Dansby Swanson, the back of his baseball card is pretty good. And he's given him the benefit of the doubt based on that. And, uh, him having the ability to do the job, but he just hasn't. And I think you're doing him a disservice by putting him in those high pressure situations. I would like him to move. I don't, you can't really, it's tough to sit him because you replace him with, kind of garbage. But um I think you move him down in the order and make those at bats a little less high pressure.
Yeah. You know what's funny? The overall numbers for Dansby Swanson, they don't look bad. They really, like, if you just look at the slash line, it's not bad. But man, the batting average with RISP is like what, below 140 now?
It's real bad.
I mean, today, like, he just walked with runners on. So he did get on, but he didn't hit. Like, earlier today, he had two on, two out, and he missed several cookies. And then big moment yesterday. Remember that first inning when they loaded the bases with one out and you could have turned that game upside down? He had a horrific at bat. It just kind of set the tone. And we saw how well he did, like in the eighth spot. It was working. So just let it work.
Yeah, do the old Jeff Bagwell trick if you need to. Lean into a pitch. Take it. Just take it.
Lean in.
Oh, I got hit. Oh, I'm going to first. Oh,
Oh, the agony. Ow.
yeah, but he needs to go down in the order. You need to flip this order around a little bit. They've been scoring runs. That hasn't been a problem, but uh, you know, with the way the pitching is, I think you need Dansby to come back and be the Dansby from the back of his baseball card for the rest of the season to continue being competitive with the pitching problems that they have.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, we know we're not expecting him to be a top three or four hitter on the team, but when you are the highest paid Cub, you need to come through more than you have been. And I just wonder if after a while it's just getting in his head. Because if you look at the at bats the past few games, he's gotten so many hits with nobody on. Like I think what game was it? It was one of the Guardians games where I'm like, Dansby Swanson should just pretend there's nobody on. And literally every at bat he had with nobody on, he got a hit.
Yeah, the swing is it's like it's just better eye, better swing. Like he's just seems more confident out there. So it seems like a head game. Maybe you need to send him down to the Arizona instructional league for a week.
Hey, done wonders for Colson Montgomery, and
It
now he's in the
really
big
has.
leagues.
Yeah. He's a different guy after that.
Yeah, obviously we'll get to him, but back to the All-Stars I wanted to mention. Kyle Tucker and PCA were just no-brainers, right? I mean, that
Oh
was
yeah. PCA is on pace to be a 40-40 guy.
yeah.
And I'm old enough to remember the first 40-40 guy and how big of an accomplishment that was. So that would be really cool to see.
Absolutely. I mean, he's one of those players where if he makes a big play early in the field, like he's going to have a big day. Like twice this year, twice even just over the past few weeks, he makes a diving catch, like a five-star diving catch, and literally homers in the next inning.
Oh yeah. I mean, and it's crazy that catch he made the other day where would they say there was like a 5% catch rate and he made the catch. There's some
Yeah.
ridiculously low catch and he just thing is when he does it, it doesn't even look that crazy because the jump and the speed are so good. And so it just, he doesn't have to fully lay out to get these.
Well, that's the funny thing is there are so many plays he makes where it looks routine, but if you actually break it down, you're like, "Oh, like that is a play that is barely made or not made by many other center fielders."
Yeah, it's been incredible. And, I don't expect him to keep pace with the bat like he has. Like, I mean, not saying he's gonna fall off the wagon, but that pace he's been on the first half of the season is absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah.
I mean, for those that aren't huge baseball nerds, when I say the 40-40 club, 40 home runs, 40 stolen bases, and I just want to tell you what a rare accomplishment that is. Can I list the complete list of players that have ever done it?
Go ahead.
The first was Jose Canseco in 1988,
Hmm.
and that was huge. I remember I was a kid, and I remember that happening and how big of a deal that was. Um, it was at the end of the season, and he stole two bases to to get it. Barry Bonds did it in 96. A-Rod did it in 98. Alfonso Soriano did it in 2006. Ronald Acuna did it in 2023, and Shohei Ohtani did it last year. That's it. That's the list.
That's a pretty good list. And remember, Soriano got that contract with the Cubs after that season with the Nationals.
Yeah. Um, so those are not. I mean, you know, people now are like, oh, Jose Canseco, steroid guy. But when I was a kid in, the mid to late 80s, early 90s, Jose Canseco was like the Aaron Judge now. Like that's who he was. Like he was bigger than life. The home run guy could do anything, was just awesome. Like he was a superstar. I know the steroids made him fall off and he wasn't the same guy, but that guy was special back in the day. Um, we all know Barry Bonds, the home run leader, A-Rod, one of the top players of all time. Ohtani, going to be a Hall of Famer. Soriano was an absolutely phenomenal baseball player. And Ronald Acuna has a chance to be a Hall of Famer himself. He's still a kid, and he's had some injury histories, but man, that guy's good. So
Yeah,
that's a special club to be in.
absolutely.
Cal Raleigh will not get that club.
The big dumper.
uh, it's fun to watch him hit, but man, that guy
Oh,
runs
he's
like
he's molasses. Yeah.
yeah, he is. He's John Kruckish.
Yeah. What is
Um,
he at now? 36 homers? 35,
it's a
36?
lot, man. It's a lot of home runs. Um, let's see. He is. Mm-mm-mm.
Because I know he hit one the other day. I don't think he hit one today, but I know he's in the mid 30s and
MLB.com has him at 35. I don't know if that
35. Okay.
Aaron Judge is 33. Otani's at 30.
Yeah. Man, the fact that you're out homering Aaron Judge, and it's not like, oh, you're out homering him in the first week of the season. It's like, no, you're out homering him midway through the season. And Aaron Judge has been healthy. He hasn't been hurt.
Yeah.
That's pretty impressive. Where would the Mariners be without him?
Oh, I know, right?
It's not
Like
like
that.
that lineup is fully stacked. You have a few good players, but it's not murderer's row.
Yeah. Cal Raleigh's on pace for like 70 home runs.
Wouldn't it be cool if he got to 60 and you could say, hey, a guy not named Aaron Judge, and I love Aaron Judge, but um, imagine where you could say, like, hey, here's a guy you didn't expect to hit 60 home runs, hit 60 home runs.
Yeah, it was cool because Raleigh matched Ken Griffey Jr.'s 35 home runs before the All-Star break mark.
That's that's impressive.
Yeah, I mean it's incredible. Like that guy just out of nowhere just is crushing home runs.
Yeah.
But good for him.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's a great story. It's one of those things where people are like, oh, you like to follow it. I mean, obviously, anybody who hits a ton of home runs in the majors is a fun story to follow, but, this is a guy who isn't a huge name like an Aaron Judge or a Shohei Ohtani or a Juan Soto or a Francisco Lindor on a team that's not the Dodgers, the Yankees, the Red Sox. That's what kind of makes this cool is that this is just kind of a guy on a non-national following big market team that's doing this. I think that kind of gives him somewhat of a, I guess you could call it an underdog story, but people like that stuff.
Yeah, I mean last year you're like, "Oh, he had a good year." A 750 OPS, 34 home runs, um and WRC plus of 117. You're like, "That's a good season." He has more home runs before the All-Star break than he did last year total. And he is he is just absolutely crushing it. So he's batting average is 50 points higher. Um and the WRC plus went from 117 to 184. Like,
That's wow. And he's a catcher too.
yeah, yep.
Man,
His his OPS is like 300 points higher almost.
wow.
It's pretty wild. Like the guy has just been ridiculous. He's already he had a 5.4 F war last year and he's at 5.7 right now.
That's amazing.
So I mean he was good. He was already
Oh,
good.
very good. Yeah, it's a very good year.
Yeah, I mean his F war since his first full season, 4.2, 4.4, 5.4, and now before the All-Star break is 10 point or 5.7. So the guy is just playing out of his mind.
Yeah, I mean that's a special season. You know what I think is funny too is if you look at some of the seasons in recent years, we'll go back 20 years, when you have these guys who are good players but put themselves on the map with these home run barrages. One of the first ones that comes to mind is remember when Jose Bautista kind of became a household name when he
Yeah.
really wasn't before?
Mm-hmm.
And it makes me think, like, is this kind of the next Jose Bautista type? I'm not saying the personalities or styles are the same, but it's like people didn't really know much about him for a while. And Cal Raleigh, it's not like he was an unknown, but like if you didn't know him before, you'll know him now for sure.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Um, and then our other all-star are Kyle Tucker, who definitely deserved it.
Hmm.
Phenomenal year, and Matthew Boyd, who's been great.
Hmm.
Um, so yeah, we got our three confirmed all-stars. Um, and hopefully they can win tonight, win this series. Oh man, this game's starting to get away here from the Cardinals.
It's 8-0, but it's the third inning only. This
Um,
game has gone at a snail's pace.
okay, I mean, it also was rain delayed, so
It was, but still, like it started at 6:15. We're recording now, it's 7:45. We're just going to the fourth.
um, yeah. Uh, anything else Cubs you have?
Oh, we've covered a lot. No, I think that pretty much covers everything that I have.
White Sox. I first want to start off by saying rest in peace to Bobby Jenks. That was,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to be morbid, but based on the news we got a few months ago, I think we all knew this was coming, but it stunk that it happened, right before the 2005 White Sox World Series reunion team.
Yeah,
Um,
because isn't that like in a week or so?
I,
Like
I
that's coming up.
I think I think it's this weekend. I think
And
it's real soon.
yeah, and you know that emotions are going to be running really, really high because Bobby Jenks was more than just a member on that '05 White Sox team. He was one of the heroes, one of the clutch players of that team. Obviously getting the save to win it all. And he had that run, man, where he was really one of the better closers in baseball. And he had that just bulldog mentality and went out there and gave it his all every time. And he was the manager in the minor leagues, and from what I've heard from the players who played for him, they have said nothing but incredible things about him as a manager. And you couldn't help but wonder, could he have been destined to be on a major league bench as a coach or manager? Because a lot of people certainly gave him his praises for what he did.
Yeah, it was really sad to see. And I mean, young guy. I mean, I'm several years older than Bobby Jenks was, so uh, it's it's really sad to see. So rest in peace to him.
I
And
hope they honor him during the All-Star game. They really should.
they should. And if the White Sox botch this when they have their reunion and don't just you know do something insane like in his memory, then shame on them.
Oh, they will. I'm Say what you will about the Sox, I'm confident that they are going to do this right. I mean, they are so proud, rightfully so, of the '05 World Series, and I think that they're going to do everything they can to make sure that they celebrate this to the fullest, all those players, all those former members of the team, and that they honor Bobby Jenks's memory. I don't think those players would allow them not doing the right thing for him.
I really hope that he pre-recorded something and they're
Yeah.
and they're able to debut it there for everybody to hear. Like, man, that would be really special.
There won't be
Um,
a dry eye in the place.
no, no. Uh, so that's hopeful. I'm hoping they bring his family there. Um, just to really that because he was such an important part of that team.
He was, and he battled through a lot of things. And I think that was one of the reasons why people liked and respected him so much is, the fact that he can overcome adversity and so many other things. And, this was a guy that when he just stepped in, it's not like he was a massive household name, but he kind of turned himself into one through his heroics in that postseason and had a really nice career out of all of it.
Yeah, absolutely.
I just want to look up his stats again because he had some really, really, really good years. I remember even past '05. Like, okay, here you go. 2005, obviously 275 ERA. 2007, 277 ERA, 256 FIP. He was a 2.2 WAR player that year. And then later on, he pitched a few more years with the White Sox. 2008, another very good year, 263 ERA, 371 ERA in 2009. And then he pitched a little bit with Boston, but overall, he played, let's see, one, two, three, four, five, six, like 7-ish years. He pitched in 357.1 innings, a 353 ERA, a 321 FIP, a 327 xFIP, 8.84 K per nine, 3.1 base on ball per nine. So just, and 173 career saves. So you look at all of that, and it's just like, man, you really were a huge catalyst of that team. And you look at the '05 season, 8 innings pitched, 225 ERA, 4 saves. So big part of that team. He's going to be very missed. Rest in peace, Bobby Jenks.
So yeah, the celebration of the World Series champions is July 11th through 13th.
Okay, so next weekend.
Yeah,
Isn't that like a boat cruise?
I don't know. If there is, don't invite the Minnesota Vikings. Oh, do you remember? Are you old enough to remember their boat cruise, the booze cruise?
I know of a story. I don't know the details. Enlighten me.
Oh yeah, I gotta pull up the story here because it was um there was debauchery.
When I hear booze cruise, I just think of the episode of The Office.
Um 17 members of the Minnesota Viking football team, including Dante Culpepper and Nate Burleson, rented multiple boats on an alleged sex party boat.
Oh,
Uh, yeah, there were two houseboats were rented, and players were performing sexual acts in front of crew members. They had prostitutes from Atlanta and Florida flown in, and there were at least 90 people on the boat. Fred Smoot later said he estimated there were about 100 women present.
what year was this?
2005.
Okay. Well, when you
And
said Dante Culpepper, I figured it was the mid
an
2000s.
anonymous former player of the Vikings claimed that this is not the first incident. Photographs were taken of the party showing people engaging in intercourse. 4 players were charged with misdemeanors. Uh, Later, commentators pointed to the scandal as a key event in the history of the team, leading to the firing of Mike Tice.
Wow. I knew there was some weird thing on a boat or a cruise. I didn't know it was that in depth.
Yeah, and the it all came crumbling down because a woman called the police because she said seven men were urinating in her yard.
And those seven men were Minnesota Vikings.
Yes.
Wouldn't it be funny if she was like the biggest Vikings fan ever? Like, just somehow it happened to be the biggest Vikings fan ever. She recognized them, like, oh, yeah, no, you can go ahead and piss in my yard. It's all good.
Uh,
Could you imagine if one day you woke up and there's Kyle Tucker and PCA and Saya and Matt Boyd and Shota just all taking a whiz in your yard?
uh, I mean, as long as they don't burn my grass, I'm good.
You can pee on it, you just can't burn it.
Let's see. Come meet the heroes who brought the title home on Saturday, July 12th. There are patio party packages. Package one is sold out with Mark Burley and Scott Posednik. Package two is available with Ozzie Guillen and Freddie Garcia. Package three is Jermaine Dye and John Garland. Package four, which I don't know how isn't sold out, is Paul Konerko and Jose Contreras.
That's shocking that the Paul Konerko one isn't sold out. I
Let's
mean,
see.
that not only was he like the captain of your team, but you hear like he's like the nicest guy in the world. Which was the one that was sold out? Mark Burley, right?
Um, it was Mark Burley and Scott Posednik.
Which, I mean, everybody on the South Side loves Mark Burley, so that makes sense.
Yeah, I'm not surprised that one is sold out, but I'm surprised that um the other one is not sold out. Yeah, there are still tickets left for Konerko.
How much are the packages? I'm curious. Does it say?
I'm on Ticketmaster. I'm trying to see, and it says $0. I wonder if it's just free, but that would be wild. You can get a Mark Burley and Scott Posednik photo for $50.
Oh, so it's like you reserve for free, like getting in, but like you pay for like the perks or whatever.
Let's see.
Like,
Apparently,
is it a cash bar or something? Or
okay, it's a minimum is three tickets. Maybe it is sold out because they won't let me buy the tickets. All right, it might just be their website is. This is the most confusing thing. No wonder it's not selling out. Trying to figure out how to do this package.
I've seen ads for it on like not on television, but like when you get YouTube ads and you get like the picture ads on YouTube. Like I see those. I did think I saw an ad once on CHSN for it, like a commercial with advertising, "Hey, meet your '05 heroes." But I feel like they were very vague about the details about it. But again, maybe I'm just not paying attention. There might be more detailed ones out there. But yeah, I know it's been advertised. It's just I didn't really read the details as much. I was just kind of curious.
Yeah, and July 11th is 2005 champion Hawaiian Shirt Day.
I just think of freaking Bill Lumbergh from Office Space, and Friday is Hawaiian Shirt Day. Dot dot dot. So if you would like, you can wear a Hawaiian shirt to work.
I'm not gonna lie, these Hawaiian shirts are pretty cool.
Oh, I bet they are. Sports Hawaiian shirts are some of like the best things.
You should see the William the Refrigerator Perry one I have.
Oh my God. I can only imagine how epic that is.
And one didn't exist, but you can custom make them on Amazon.com, which I did.
Oh, I custom made for my boss a Home Depot Hawaiian shirt.
I was like, this is awesome. This is the best like $23 I've ever spent.
I have a Rizzo Hawaiian shirt. It's got like Rizzo's face and it's got like Ivy, Chicago dog, Chicago pizza. There's got to be a Pope one, right? Like someone's got to make a Chicago Pope Hawaiian shirt.
Oh,
We
I'm
could have
sure.
fun with that.
Uh, all right. So the White Sox have their one member of the All-Star team, which was Shane Smith. And I was texting with Gary, and he's like, "Who do you think it's going to be?" And I'm like, "Shane Smith." He goes, yeah, but he's been real bad lately. And I'm like, I know, but it's still going to be Shane Smith. He's like, it should be Hauser. I'm like, it should be Hauser, but it's going to be Shane Smith. And
Yeah, Hauser's been great, but he's only been here for so long.
been here, what, not quite 2 months?
Yeah, honestly, I think Jed and Chris Getz should make a deal. I kind of like Hauser. I like the way he's adjusted his game.
Yeah, that's a guy I would really like them to bring in. Um,
Like he's been legit good.
yeah. Shane Smith started off great. And I don't know if he's dead arm, if he's not quite right, or people figured him out. I don't know what the what's going on, but he has not been very good as of late.
No, it's been quite rough. Like, isn't his ERA in the fours now?
Yeah, I'm worried that in the All-Star game he's just gonna get lit up.
If he pitches. Honestly, if you're a White Sox fan, I think your kind of hope is he doesn't pitch. I mean, I know you want to see your guys in the All-Star game, but you're kind of at a point where, depending on your situation and who's in it, like honestly, like for Tucker and PCA, let them get their one at bat and be done. That's kind of how I feel. I don't even want Boyd really pitching in it, but for Shane Smith's sake, it would be cool for him to pitch in it. But I get what you're saying.
And then Colson Montgomery made his debut this week,
He
and
did.
uh, he played well.
Made a
He's
great catch.
yeah. I mean he made that catch was awesome.
It was like a five-star highlight reel play.
And it's funny because his first at bat, he got on base in a weird way with catcher interference.
Wasn't he like one of two people in baseball history? Like it's very, very rare for that to happen.
You know, it's funny because I watched the whole at bat. So I watched almost that entire game, and um, he didn't even run all the way down. Like he stopped like a third of the way down and just started motioning. And I'm like, I can't believe this guy's making his debut. His dad's in the crowd, and he's not gonna run this out. I'm like, what the hell? And then there was like some commotion, and they're like, and he started signaling, and I was like, is that catcher interference? And yep, they called catcher interference, so he goes to first, and that's why he stopped. And I was like, he was arguing his case, uh, and I saw the replay, and I was like, I still didn't see it clear, but he knew it right away, and the umpire did too. So just did not a good angle of it. But yeah, I mean, it was a weird way to get on base, but he got on base and he looked hyped, but not like so hyped that he was nervous. Like he didn't, do anything bad. He looked good and he looked all right at the plate and game two looked good. His stats are great. Like that, whatever they did in the Arizona Correctional League, their instructional league, he he turned it around.
It
Like,
worked.
yeah, I mean, he was a guy that I think fans, baseball fans in general, wrote off. Like, yeah, that guy was a bust, and who knows what the future holds, but he's made his major league debut. Let's move on to just a couple Bulls and Blackhawks things and wrap this up here. Um, so the Bulls have Josh Giddey still not under contract. They made him the qualifying offer of the $17 million, and he wants 30. And I'm I wonder if they're going to get a deal done because I hear that they're having good talks, but they're no closer to a deal. So that's a little concerning. I don't know which is a bigger concern, that they don't get a deal done and they just sort of he plays it out and then walks, or that they pay him $30 million a year and then, handcuff themselves going forward.
Again, it's like all you can do is kind of just shrug your shoulders, right? What else can you say?
I don't know how the Bulls get out of the hell that they're in. And it's not that they're bad. They're just, they're
Not
like,
good.
they're just like the most mediocre team. They're, they're way too good to get a lottery pick, and they're not anywhere near good enough to make noise in the playoffs.
And you don't make trades for picks. You make trades for other players that aren't going to help you in the long run.
Yeah, it's so frustrating. And I'm not saying that Josh Giddey is like this awesome dude, but he's like you can't you can't lose good players. Like he's a good player. Like you can't
Yes.
lose talent. You've got to build off of that.
Like on a legit team, if Josh Giddey fits in well, like that is a really good player to have, but you don't have a great team.
No, and you went from being in a position of strength, your guard position, to if you lose him, then you're in a hole. Like
Hmm.
it's 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 sad. Like you can't keep botching everything. Like
Yeah.
not every front office is going to hit home runs and everything, or even get everything right. But the Bulls don't do a lot right. They,
No, they don't.
and and they're already handcuffed because they the team won't pay over or spend over the apron. So it's you have a real hard cap there. And so you've got to make the most with what you have, and they just don't do it.
Yep. Remember last week, wasn't it last week how we were saying you traded away DeMar DeRozan, Zach LaVine, Lonzo Ball, I think, and Alex Caruso. You traded away all those guys for zero picks. And I forgot to mention this too. Remember when they had an offer for Drummond that would have brought you picks and they didn't take it so they could, quote, make the playoffs and then you just let him walk for nothing? Remember that?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
That
Absolutely.
that goes beyond just AK. That is the Reinsdorf poison of this organization.
Yep.
I
Yep,
say
indeed.
it once and I say it again. There's no point in rooting for the Bulls right now. There just isn't. There's no point. Every other team in the city has an end game. Whether or not they reach it, whether or not they're good enough, whether or not they've done it right, there is an end game for every other team in the city but the Bulls.
Yeah. And they just no, there's no path. And they're not like, I get there are teams that are just really bad, but the thing is if you're really bad, you have a path to be good because you're
Yeah,
you're so bad, you get these lottery picks and you can clear a cap and just rebuild. The Bulls, they there's nothing there to rebuild. Like they're just they're like that the Mendoza line.
you don't have the assets. You don't have the team yet bad enough to increase your picks, your chances for a lottery pick. And if you overpay for Josh Giddey, it's not like you're going to have all the cap space in the world. I'm not saying you're going to be in cap trouble, but you're going to be paying a lot of money for a guy on a directionless team.
Yeah. And but if you lose him, you're really I guess if you lose him, then you just start dumping players. And but they're not going to do that because they don't want to tank.
Nope.
They want to be good enough where, people can bring their because they sell those season tickets to businesses. And as long as they're reasonably competitive, businesses will keep buying it because they can bring their clients there. And so that gets brought in. They buy beer, they buy food, they buy the boxes and the seats, and so they keep getting money. Look at the attendance. The attendance does not represent how mediocre the Bulls are.
No, because people love going to the games regardless. And it's hard for me to judge people love going to the games because I've said this on the last podcast, I'll say it again, is that the experience of a Bulls game is truly a great one. Whether or not you're into the team, whether or not the team is good, you can take a family to a Bulls game and everyone will have a great time. That is just the type of entertainment value the Chicago Bulls bring. You want to go and you want to watch Biggie Bagel and the Jesse White tumblers, and you get all the fun little giveaways and see Benny the Bull shooting t-shirts into the crowd, then hell yeah, everyone can have a good time. But man, it just there was one point I don't know if you remember towards the end of the Garpax era. This was like 2019, I want to say, right before the pandemic. Do you remember some of those games when there weren't a lot of people there and like people were posting weekends they were still drawing, but I remember towards like the middle and end of that season, people were posting photos on Twitter and Facebook and Instagram and whatnot of like the 300 level at the United Center being like two-thirds empty. You remember some of those?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I hate to say it, but it's like you got to see that again. I'm not
Hmm.
saying it's going to make any dick difference, but
It will once Jerry feels it in the pocketbook, then he'll do something about it. He only cares about the money.
let me think about my friend Branch Rickey. Bite me.
So let's see. The the Blackhawks, Arvid Soderblom requested arbitration. Who cares? Um,
Yeah, yeah.
and they traded for Sam Lafferty, so he's getting shot number two with
Welcome back.
and you know what? I He's a perfectly fine fourth liner. And I just want to say he is the exact reason, this situation is the exact reason that you take big swings with your draft picks and don't draft a safe pick. You're like, oh, well, he's going to be a third, fourth liner. He's a bottom six player. Um, because you can get bottom six players with that aren't risks, that are like you can get them ready to go for nothing, for pennies on the dollar, like Sam Lafferty. Take those big swings because if you know if you miss, who cares? You can pick up a guy. If you hit, that's awesome because then suddenly you're a better team. So
Mm-hmm.
that makes me much happier about those second two first round picks that the Blackhawks made because they took gambles.
Yes,
If
they
they
did.
fail, all right. You took a big you like a Kyle from Chicago called it a grand slam swing. So that's like
Mm-hmm.
if that guy hits, that's awesome. If he doesn't, all right, well then, you rely on all those other first round picks you have. So not a
Right.
big deal. This is the exact reason is you can get a guy like Lafferty that's a bottom six player, plug him into your trade where they trade a sixth round pick or whatever, and paying his $2 million salary. Okay. All right.
Mm-hmm.
That's fine. You can do that.
Yep. You know, I was laughing the other day. Does any team more than the Chicago Blackhawks just bring players back the way they do?
Oh my God. And it's funny because I thought it was a Stan Bowman thing because he's apparently
Oh,
doing
he
that
did that
now.
with literally
Yeah.
everybody.
But, now they're doing it without him. So it's like, man, did he learn that from this organization? Is that like a learned Blackhawk behavior?
Mm-hmm. I guess so.
Like, I like a guy, I'm bringing him back.
Because remember back going even a, a decade plus, one of the first big guys they brought back. Remember when they brought back Chris Versteeg?
Mm-hmm.
Because he was there in 2010. He left after 2010. He wasn't part of 2013. He came back in 2014. They went to the Western Conference Finals in 14, and then they won the Stanley Cup in 15. And that's when you had that awesome line of Patrick Kane, Richards, and Versteeg. And it was like that line was on a power play every time it was out there. And then you've brought back, let's see, the list is long. You brought back Brandon Saad. You brought back Johnny Oduya twice. I don't know if you remember that. Uh,
Johnny Oduya.
I don't know if it was Kyle or Bowman, but Vinny Hinostroza came back. Um, they brought back Nikolai Hobby-Bull, and you remember that very briefly in like 2014.
Yep.
I mean, he only played a handful of games, but I remember when they brought him back. Oh, I'm sure there's a ton more, but those are the ones that come off the top of my head.
Uh, that's that's funny. But Sam Lafferty getting his second shot with the Blackhawks, and he played fine. And he played good for where'd he go? Where was he before Buffalo? Um,
Trying to remember. Kind of drawing a blank.
I know. Was it Vancouver?
Maybe.
I don't. He had a good year.
Vancouver.
And
Did you hear about them? Did you hear who they signed?
oh, who they sign?
Evander Kane.
Ew,
Yeah. Ugh.
ew. All right.
Also, speaking of which, did you see that Taze was officially introduced as a Winnipeg Jet?
No.
Yep, he had his presser this past week. So I'd go and watch it. It's nothing exciting, but it's just like, wow, he's really back in the NHL. We'll see how it goes.
Andrew Vaughn is getting called up.
By the Brewers.
Yes, because Reese Hoskins is on injury, grade 2 thumb sprain.
So how's he been doing
No
in the
idea.
minors? Let's look it up, shall we? I'm
Yeah.
going to do that right now. By the way, one of my buddies who listens to the show, shout out to Josh. He says one of his favorite segments that we've done has been reading like really, really bad statistical lines, like slash lines or other things. So I feel like we need to do that more. But let's see. Andrew Vaughn, huh? He's actually been pretty good in Nashville in AAA.
If you
Let
like puke.
no, legit. I'm saying legit. 259, 338, 500, 838.
That's
It's
pretty good.
three homers. That's pretty good.
I mean, a guy that was, what was he, number 3 overall pick?
Three or four.
Yeah, that dude should be raking in AAA. But I mean, those are good numbers. I hope he comes for the Brewers and just looks like ass. Fingers crossed. I want to read a stat slash line of like, he's like, oh, he's batting 58 with an on base percentage of
58.
63. His
58.
his OPS is 221 with
I hope he bats 58.
I want to come up and be like, all right, let's play a game. Is his which is higher? Is his batting average or Shaq's shoe size?
Oh God.
That's the game I want to play.
Um, speaking of bad slash lines, you know what we should, you know what could be entertaining for our listeners if people like us reading horrific stuff. Boy, the Colorado Rockies. You want to talk about ass?
You
There's
know,
some
I
fun stuff in there.
so I've been watching these games with the White Sox and the Rockies, and I really feel like every fan, or sorry, everybody in the city of Cleveland at the beginning of the movie Major League while I'm watching them play. Like, who the hell are any of these people? I don't know any of these players. And
So
and some of them have like not bad statistics, but I'm
Hunter
like, I don't,
Goodman's pretty good.
yeah, I'm like, I don't know who any of these players are. And but some of them are ass, straight up doo-doo.
Dog turd tacos, as you eloquently
Dog,
put it.
dog turd tacos indeed.
Yeah, because I mean, it's like, okay, you have Mickey Moniak. He's not bad. Hunter Goodman's their all-star. And, you know, Toglia, McMahon are having bad years. They have Kyle Farmer on their team these days. It's just kind of like whatever. It's really their pitching that's been super, super bad, obviously. And I know it's not easy to pitch at Coors, but I mean, really, if you want to just look at a bad stat, it's today is July 6th. Okay? Tomorrow's the 7th. Their next loss, which will probably be within the next few days, will be their 70th loss. They are 21 in 69. And the White Sox were better at this point last year. 21 and 69.
That's so
How
bad.
is that possible? How in Major League Baseball in the modern day with all the resources every team has at its expense is that possible? I don't get it.
That team is brutal.
And
I was
honestly,
trying
I think owners should be punished for that.
I
I
was trying to
really
explain to
do.
my wife, and I was like, the White Sox were the worst team in the history of baseball last year. And the Rockies are like, hold my beer.
I just it doesn't make any sense. And I get it. Like not only are you a bad team, you're a bad team. I mean, sorry, I hit mute. My bad. Um, you're a bad team in a great division. I get that. Like you play with the Dodgers, you play with the Giants, you play with the Padres, but still, you don't play as many division games as you used to. You don't have that excuse is not as big, right?
It is not. It is not as big. And they're just a really bad baseball team.
Fundamentally unsound.
Yeah, it's just watching them. You're like, the only way they're scoring runs is bad play on the other team. Like I feel like it's just mental lapses. Um, like, oh hey, this was we boneheaded that. Up, they got to run. Up, that was bad defense there. They got to run. Um, and it's frustrating because that's they're a bad team.
Well,
But
it's whenever things are going bad for us, we just remember one thing. We're not Rockies fans.
no, it would have been nice for the White Sox to get a sweep there. Um,
Hmm. You
but
still won two or three, and Colson Montgomery had a good debut.
yeah, but Shane Smith was brutal. Like
Yeah.
like he got battered. He got battered by a team of sixth graders.
I just picture like some big kid in the just getting wailed on by frickin' sixth graders.
It's like movie Step Brothers. Just beat their ass and like lick the white dog shit.
Uh,
Uh, but oh yeah, I forgot. Edgar Caro got his first home run.
didn't Jose Abreu hit his first home run in Colorado? I
Mm,
feel like he did.
maybe
Maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like somebody else. I know Javi Baez did, but I feel like there's been some
you mean
big
All
homers have.
Star Javi Baez?
Yeah, all-star center fielder Javi Baez.
The Mets got to be feeling pretty bad that the two starting center fielders on the All Star teams, uh, they were both Mets.
Yeah, that is pretty wild.
They got to be like, damn it, what the hell?
Could you imagine if you had a team with PCA and Francisco Lindor and Pete
Pete Alonso.
Alonso? That would be such a great combination because you kind of have two guys.
You forgot one guy. Oh, sorry. You were talking about guys that I mean that
I'm saying if PCA was on the Mets right now in that lineup with Pete Alonso and Francisco Lindor.
and you're missing somebody in that lineup.
Brett Beatty.
No. For the Mets, who they just pay a lot of money for.
Oh, Juan Soto.
Juan Soto.
Yeah, yeah. Doy.
Juan Soto and PCA and Pete Alonso.
That'd be a
Like
cheat
that
code.
would be their team.
Yeah.
And if you threw in Javi Baez, that's playing this level of Javi Baez, that would be a cheat code. They had the thing is that they've got Dodgers money. They could do it. They could have.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
Steve Cohen doesn't have a spending limit.
no, he has a zero spending limit.
Oh
Uh,
well, I'm glad it worked out the way it did.
yeah, yeah. Was there anything else you wanted to talk about?
No, I don't really have any bears.
No, no. It's funny. The news cycle is so bad. I saw one of the bigger publications was still bringing up, rehashing the you know Caleb Williams talking about how he didn't have any guidance watching film, and they just took another spin at it. They're like, "Oh, his former coaching staff is mad at him for saying that publicly."
No,
Like,
just
how are you? Many times are you going to beat this poor dead horse?
seriously, it's over. Move on. I mean, you know the media is going to try to milk this as much as they can,
Yeah,
but
they're trying to say like, oh well, this former coaching staff is mad, and does this mean that he is not emotionally capable of being a leader on this team?
oh my
Like,
God.
what? Like that's some like sports mockery website reporting, but it was from I forget who it was. It was somebody legit. It was,
Yeah,
I was like that's a real publication. Like, what the hell are they doing?
clickbait, man. That's
It's because it's so dead. Like this is the deadest of dead time of the season.
oh yeah. I mean, this is the lowest point of football. It really is. I mean, training camp is going to be here before we know it. They released the dates. Hopefully, I'll be going to Family Fest this year, so looking forward to that. But yeah, until then, it's going to be a lot of dead
Yeah, I mean, this is the time of year where you just wait for a Cowboys player to get arrested for a gun charge.
or a Chiefs player because they
Yeah.
seem to get in trouble a lot.
Oh my God. Oh my God. I I was just saying that out of history and I'm Googling it. Cowboys Kevontae Turpin arrested for marijuana and unlawful carrying of a weapon.
Well, there it is. You asked for it, you got it.
I did not even see that. Oh my God. That's funny. I was just throwing something at the wall and hope it stuck. And boy, it stuck a 9.0 landing.
Big old piece of ham.
That stuck like done spaghetti to the wall.
You threw it at the wall and it landed right in Ding Dong George's face.
Just picturing the done spaghetti hitting him in the face, like right across his face and splattering pasta sauce. He's like, there's pasta sauce in my eye. He starts wagging a finger at me.
It's getting all over his nice white shirt.
He wipes it away and then it falls onto his shirt and leaves like a squiggly line of pasta stain on his white shirt.
Just the most gnarly stain that just doesn't come out.
He pulls out one of those stain sticks out of his back pocket.
He just has him on him.
He's like, Mother would always make me carry with this. I was a messy boy.
A very messy boy. And now, I am going to take responsibility for myself. Because like we have our like silly imitation of Ding Dong George, but really George McCaskey, he's kind of one of those guys that goes, you know, talk, 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 like kind of goes high at the end. That's kind of how he talks.
And just randomly blames Olin Kreutz for it.
Well, I Olin Kreutz and I, how we have our
Are
differences.
we don't always see eye to eye, and I feel like he was behind this spaghetti incident.
God, if anybody watches the Three Stooges, there's an episode where the Stooges are like watching this mansion for the scientist, and out of nowhere, throughout the entire episode, these pies get thrown in their faces. And this is exactly what I picture happening at Hallis Hall, is these wads of spaghetti keep getting launched into their faces, and they're going, who threw that spaghetti? Who threw that spaghetti? Like, just imagine Kevin Warren and George are getting into a room, and all of a sudden, just splat. They both get nailed in the face with wads of spaghetti.
Oh my God. I just I'm just picturing like the most ridiculous things and Ben Johnson walks in, he just shakes his head and goes back to work. He just huddles his team. He's like, just let them do what they're gonna do. And he's like, we're gonna go out here and coach. Just let the children be.
But then, as he walks out to the field, you see a moment where Ben Johnson pauses and thinks, and he's like, "Who did throw that spaghetti? Like, where did that come from?"
Uh, it's it's like there was a performance. I think it was at like the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and it had like Tom Petty and like all these great guitarists out there playing. And Prince just comes out and just shreds a guitar solo and then throws his guitar in the air, and you never see it come down. It just disappears. What happened to the guitar? Where did it go? It never reappears. He just throws it and it just disappears. He doesn't throw it into the crowd or anything. He just throws it straight up in the air and it disappears. And just somewhere it converted to spaghetti and landed in Soldier in Hallis Hall.
Woo!
Woo! Uh,
Boy,
su-
Prince could shred, man.
super non sequitur here is I took my wife and kid on 4th of July to see the new Jurassic Park movie.
Oh, I still
And
need to see it.
and we saw it in the 40X, which is like the where the seats move and they spray water and blow steam. And what's wild is whenever, it's a Jurassic Park movie, so there's always a dinosaur that sneaks up on somebody.
Of
And
course.
so when the dinosaur is like sneaking up on somebody, you could feel water dripping down your on your head and down your back. I don't know where it came from, but I was like, oh man, that makes it really creepy because you're seeing the person and you know there's a dinosaur behind them and they don't know yet. And you feel the drips, like it's like saliva dripping out of their mouths. And then like the person turns and you're like, oh, there's the dinosaur. There he is.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I picture like your seat going ape shit and spinning everywhere, and you're just Bills fan puking all over the place.
So true story is I fell asleep at one point in the movie. I was just tired. I did an old man fall asleep sitting upright, and the seat shot me with water and started shaking. And I was like, Jesus Christ, what's going on? Uh, but it's wild. Like they had screenings like every 2 hours until like the last showing was 1:40 in the morning.
Like that's when it started?
Yes. And
Wow.
they were all pretty much sold out. Like we bought tickets, there were 3 seats left and none of them were together. So my wife sat in literally the front row, the seat all the way to the end.
Oh
My
wow.
my daughter sat in the front row, like, towards the middle. And then I sat 3 rows back all the way on the end. And I was like, man, those and that my wife's like, is there any other showings where we could get maybe some seats together? And every other show was just completely sold out. Nothing, nothing, nothing. And I was like, this is insane. Like, uh, and they gave out Jurassic Park ponchos. So everybody's in these bright yellow ponchos watching the movie.
Oh,
It
I
was
need one for my Dennis Nedry collection. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it was a cool experience. I enjoy the 4DX. Like I wouldn't go every movie to it because some of them just don't make sense, but like Jurassic Park made sense, Twisters made sense.
Oh, hell
Like
yeah.
Twisters was fun because that just like every time there was like, the tornado, you are just being flung around. Like this one guy came in like halfway through the movie. I don't know if he snuck in and just wanted to see what it was about or if he showed up late, but he has popcorn and it just starts flinging him. He's spraying his popcorn everywhere. And he's like screaming. And he's like, whoa, whoa. His popcorn is everywhere. And I'm cracking up. I'm crying. I'm laughing so hard because I'm shaking, it's getting sprayed with water, and popcorn is flying everywhere. It was
That is hilarious.
Yeah, and they had like uh, a smoke machine blowing smoke up there, and like during certain scenes, like it was fun. It was worth it.
Oh,
40X
that
was
is
fun.
so cool. I really wanted to see the new Jurassic World movie this week, but like I just didn't have time to go. I was so busy this week, holiday week and just other plans going on. So I'm hoping to see it within a week or so. But I'm really excited because I love Jurassic Park and that shit. So
Oh,
um,
I love those movies. There were some real stinkers in that series. I mean, but
yeah,
7 movies, yeah, it's gonna be hard not to. Um,
Fallen Kingdom was,
like
that one was
this
rough.
one, this one was probably the third best.
Okay. Because I know it's very divisive, but I actually like the first Jurassic World movie.
The Chris Pratt one?
Yeah, the
Yeah.
first one.
Yeah, I would call, I don't know, I would call that like second.
I call it second too. I'd put Jurassic Park, Jurassic World. I haven't seen the new one yet, so I know it's not everybody's favorite, but I do kind of have a soft spot for Lost World, I will admit, even though it is fucking ridiculous.
I mean, this one, I mean, it's, uh, uh, there are a lot of predictable things, but it's very Steven Spielberg, like, where like super adventure and a lot of like harrowing experiences and, um, it was fun. They did a good job, I think. I mean,
Yeah.
it's not gonna win an Oscar, but, um, it was pretty good.
Can you at least tell me this? Is this in the same universe as Jurassic World, like the Chris Pratt trilogy, or is this like a separate sequel to the original Jurassic Park?
No, so in this, it's essentially they said it's too dangerous, so they've kind of the dinosaurs are just living. They're kind of bound by nature, so the equator, they have to live close to the equator. So there's just certain places where they just are, and they've
Hmm.
kind of outlawed people from going there.
Okay.
But they end up going there. But I mean, the cast was good. Scarlett Johansson was good. Mahershala Ali was good. Um, it was uh yeah, it was fun.
Cool. Well, I look forward to seeing it.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, like I said, it's the first one is just an absolute great movie.
Oh yeah. Oh
Um,
yeah.
and yeah, but yeah, this one was just a lot of fun. So definitely go see it in the theater. You won't be disappointed.
Rock on.
All right. Well, I think that's going to do it for this episode of Bill Swerski Sports Talk Chicago. I want to thank everybody so much for listening. Please hit subscribe, however you listen to podcasts, whether it's iTunes, Stitcher, YouTube, Google Play, Spotify, etc. Share this podcast with your friends. That's how we grow the show. Follow us on social media at Swerski Sports, Facebook.com/Swerski Sports, Swerski_sports_podcast for us on Instagram, and ShyFanPat2 for Alex on Twitter/X, and AlexanderJPatCreative.com for all the cool stuff that Alex does. And again, thank you guys so much for listening. And until next time, bear down.
Cubs win! What a lucky break! The good Lord wants the Cubs to win!
We thank Ditka and God for all they have provided.
Cubs win! Cubs win! Cubs win!
Oh, I don't want her. You can have her. She's a Packer fan. She can't fit in my van.
And she looks like Remember, New Yorkers, smoking crack is not legal on planes.
Bears 31 to -7.
The Bears.
Oh, when the Bears go bearing down, I wanna